and we are live at the Broadway Shuffle, a Texas Tech sports podcast, episode 2 with Conrad and Clayton. I'm Brennan. Boys, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Excited for college football to be back. Excited to watch Tech, watch the Thursday night games.
Yeah, only a couple days away. We're here.
We are here, and you can catch us every Monday and Thursday wherever you get your podcast. You can follow us on our social media pages at the Broadway Shuffle Pod. But if you want to catch us on X/Twitter, you'll have to follow us at the Broadway Shuff. For whatever reason, the Broadway Shuffle Pod is taken on X, so we had to cut it short there a little bit. But you can catch us there. Clayto is going to be trolling people on Twitter all football season long from the Broadway Shuff Pod. So make sure to tune into that. But we're excited. Zyler actually had a baby this week, his second baby. So he is spending time with the fam. We gave him a pass for this episode. But nonetheless, we have plenty of topics to go through tonight. And we actually have our first guest joining the show today, who, without giving it away, might be the most popular realtor in Lubbock. And he knows quite a bit about football, we think. So we're excited to have him on here in a little bit. But guys, it's game week. And with that, the Abilene Christian University Wildcats are coming into the Jones. And man, I mean, I'm excited. I cannot wait to see the stadium, the fans, what jerseys we're going to wear. There's just so much new coming into this season. New starting quarterback, 5-star receivers. I mean, this is going to be so much fun. The hype is finally here. I mean, did you guys think coming into the season that we'd get here this quick? I felt like the summer was just dreadfully long.
Agreed. I think it took way longer than I would have liked, but we're finally here. So
We're finally here.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, just the weight of the off season and all the things that transpired this off season with getting new players coming in the spring, the transfers we had, new offensive line coach, and just kind of some of the things we've already talked about in episode 1. All of that leading up to this week, offensive line. We're finally going to get to see everything on the field. We're not going to have to guess anymore. The best time of the season is going to be behind us, where we can choose what we think is going to happen. And now we're actually going to have to look at actually what does happen. So I think it'll be fun, hopefully, to get a win against Abilene Christian on Saturday, and then kind of see who you are and what we're made of as a team as we start out of the gates 1-0, hopefully.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, we all thought that last year too, right? And you can catch our whole preview. We went through a deep dive preview, had a lot of fun on Monday's episode, and you can catch that on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast as well. But tonight we're going to get through a little quick preview of the ACU Wildcats in this game specifically. Hopefully this one won't be too much trouble and to get into, but we also wanted to kind of go through some over-unders for some top players and for our team as well getting into the game. But Clayton, if you had to give us a confidence level going into this game, Abilene Christian's got some guys that played for you, Trey Cleveland, Nehemiah Martinez. They've got a quarterback in Maverick MacGyver who has been around the block, been at multiple different universities. And then Keith Patterson, a former Red Raider coach, is also their coach there too. So a lot of familiarity coming into the Jones this week. Does that concern you at all?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, you should win this game pretty easily. I will say ACU has played Power 5 teams pretty tough recently. I remember they went to Missouri like 2 years ago and lost that game by like 17. But I guess in terms of the outcome of the game, I'm not really concerned about winning. I guess for my confidence level in terms of like how bad we win or how large the margin of victory is, I would say like 9.5.
That would 9.5 would concern you?
Like, sorry, I worded that wrong. I would say my confidence level to win is at a 10.
Okay.
But do I think it could be a close game? Maybe.
Okay. I was like, oh gosh. I was thinking more like, aren't we like 33-point favorites or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clayton goes, give me 9.
Yeah, give me 10 points.
give me a 24-14 barn burner in the Jones on Saturday night. Conrad, what about you, man? I know that you've been whipping up the Kool-Aid this offseason. Is that going to start marinating here on Saturday? Or what's your confidence level?
Well, I'll just say this: you can't win them all if you don't win the first one. So you got to win the first one, and then we'll go week by week. Obviously, taking each team as they come to us, or as we go to them, depending on home or the road. I think you're going to see a team on Saturday that's ready to play. I know that last year was a different setting. Obviously, going to Wyoming. This one's at home at night in front of your own fans. So I think you're going to see a team that's ready to play. I'm not particularly worried, just like Clayton, just like you, and just like Zyler, I know about if we're going to win or not. It's just what things that we want to see, right? Just the things that will give us confidence going into week 2, week 3, and the rest of the season. Like, does your quarterback play well? How does Taj look? How does the offensive line look protecting a quarterback against a less than stellar pass rush? We would consider ACU to be that. Not that no disrespect to them, but they're just not the level that you're going to see the rest of the way. So it's seeing all those things on the offensive side of the ball. I fully expect, even though they have a new offensive coordinator, Rick Bowie, who was at a team, Valdosta State, that was the only team to rank in the top 25 in passing and rushing yards in Division II last year. I think you're still expecting to handle them pretty well from a defensive perspective, just given the talent gap that you're going to see. But it'll be an interesting thing to watch and see how we perform against lesser competition to really give us a preview of what the rest of the season will be.
Yeah, where's Valdosta State?
I have no clue. Clayton, do you have any idea?
Does anyone know where that is?
Is that on planet Earth?
Yeah. Someone tell us in the comments where that is, please. We'd love to know.
Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess?
I mean, if he's coming from
like
there to
state?
Abilene, I would
state?
say it's in Texas.
Yeah, that
somewhere.
sounds like South Texas.
Sounds like South Texas, yeah.
It's Georgia. Nice try, though.
Dang.
We were way off.
We were super off. Well, that's
way
fine. Well, yeah, well, that's a good...
He's a good coach, though. He's a really good coach. Air raid style, runs the ball. I mean, Maverick McIver will have a good season. I mean, he threw 17, 18 touchdowns last year and only 6 picks. So he had a good year last year, but I think he'll have a better year this year, but hopefully not against us.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if there's a lot of nerves coming out here because after what happened last year with the first game, you kind of some of those senior led guys that were experienced that loss, you want to make sure they come in focus. I think our leadership will be a lot better this year with guys like Taj, Josh Kelly, Jalen Conyers kind of running the offense that are much older. So this is going to be a really interesting. I'm more intrigued by the first quarter than I am the outcome of the game. Like, I just want to see, are we coming out sharp? Does the offense look good? And then are we seeing the receivers? Are we seeing these guys that we've talked about all offseason showcase missed tackles and juke moves and different things that we did not see from our receiving core and our skill position players much last year. And then I want to see Barron sling it. I want to see something 50-plus yards down the field, and I want to see that his shoulder is cleared. I think that, to me, is one of the biggest concerns for me going into this year as well. So
let me ask y'all this question. I was thinking about it earlier today. What do you think this moment... I mean, it's a big moment for us, just our program, our university, being the fact that we're opening a brand new south end zone. There's a lot of work, a lot of thought, a lot of time being put into that project. Obviously we're not running out from the side anymore. We're running out from the center, with the Masked Rider coming out before us and all the pageantry that's going to come with that. Do you think there's any chance at all that kind of gets to us in the way we come out? Like, is there any chance we come out flat because of all the hype that's going into a relatively not important game as a whole?
I mean, I think, yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I would be more worried about it if we were playing like a Power 5 or even a Group of 5 team rather than a team like ACU, no disrespect to them. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, I could definitely see us on the first few drives kind of stumbling a bit, but you would hope that over the course of the game we'd be able to get going, even with the nerves at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I guess you want to see some comfortability early in the game and kind of shake off the jitters with all that's going to be new Saturday night. And there'll be probably a light show and all this, going on there that they debuted some last year. So I just want to see these guys go out and play ball and put all that aside. And a team like ACU, you should stomp on pretty quickly. Even though they've got some decent players on offense, this should not be something you're worrying about. And I want to see that fight in us immediately. Like, we're not playing around with teams this year. We're not playing around at home. We're coming out and taking care of business. And after what happened last year, I think I want to see that out of this team from the jump. And that might be high expectations, but I think, if you want to set the standard that we're trying to set here at Tech, and you want to be playing in December in Arlington, and you want to be having meaningful games in November, that's what these teams do. You don't see Georgia and Alabama and Texas and even teams in the Big 12 like mess around, like Utah mess around very often. And I want to see us get to that level against teams that we should beat. So,
and to just zooming out a little bit, looking at Joey's tenure, I think this is the year, right? I mean, this is fully guys that he's brought in, that he's recruited, that he's brought in off the transfer portal. This team, this program, this university in a way now really has his DNA all over it. You even see him with the students a couple nights ago, just taking pictures, doing TikTok dances or whatever you want to call it. This university really does have his fingerprints all over it now. I mean, that's just the kind of impact he's had on Lubbock, Texas, on Texas Tech. And so I think at this point, it's kind of time to see, okay, this is you. Like, let's see. Like, let's see. And I know he doesn't want to let Red Raider Nation down, but just kind of seeing how do we finally respond after we've gotten to this point, after everything's been built up, after there's been 2 years of almost relative success in comparison to what we've experienced before, seeing what does this moment look like for our program and the university as a whole.
The year for what? Like, what does the year mean?
Well, just the season as a whole. Like,
okay, I didn't know if you were setting some expectation of like, this is the year,
Oh, I mean, we already did that in the last episode, right? We said 9-3, 10-2. I mean, I think we already did that.
I just didn't know if you started, getting a little crazy. We're thinking about 11-1, 12-0 type stuff.
No. I'm not going to look. Hey, I'm not there. There is no the year. Like, do you think Alabama and Georgia think about the year? Every year is the year. So, like, it's not about 1 year necessarily, but just in terms of his tenure so far, I think this is the year that almost not shows you, because I think he's not, no matter how the season goes, Joey McGuire is not going to not be your head coach next year, unless you don't win a game. Then there's a different question. But it's just in terms of what does the season look like and how does it play out. So that's what I meant by that. Not like this is the year.
Yeah, imagine going 0-12. Like, what would
this podcast would not exist at that point?
This podcast wouldn't even make it to the end of the year.
Yeah. What would even? We're like 0-11, boys. Episode on Thursday morning.
Yeah, really looking forward to the West Virginia game this week.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would return the mic. I'd cancel the subscriptions. It would all be over.
Yeah. By the way, man. Conrad, nice mic, by the way. I see you joined the mic gang, and it's looking good. I know Clayton's is in the mail, right? So in the mail, on its way.
In the mail?
You call it. It's coming in the mail.
It's in transit.
Yeah, it'll arrive via the mailbox here on Thursday.
The mailbox?
Well, yeah.
You mean the drone?
Whatever it is, yeah. Well, awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I wanted to segue us into some over-unders for the game on Saturday. I think what I put down were a couple of them that I think will determine, obviously, your success against ACU a little bit, but more so if we see these things consistently, that we're pretty much set up for what I think would be a really good year. And so the first over-under that I wanted to ask you is Baron Morton throwing for over or under 300 yards?
I'll go first. I'm taking the over on this. I think Kelly's going to try to get the passing game going. He's going to try to get the ball to Micah Hudson, Caleb Douglas, Josh Kelly, some of these newcomers, and get them like comfortable in the offense. Obviously, we know what Taj can do. But I think playing a team like this, you want to try to get your passing game going to set you up for the following week.
Yeah, I agree. I'll take the over on the 300 yards passing for Barron. The only way I think he doesn't get there is if you're up like 42-0 mid-second quarter and he's at like 250 and Cameron Brown comes in. Like that's, I think, the only way he doesn't get there. And then Cameron Brown may throw for 200 plus. So if again, that's perfect scenario if that happens. But I'll take the over. I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see Kelly with a lot of catches, Conyers, Tharp. I think everybody's going to get really involved. I think you're going to see Barron with something to prove. I mean, he's played football for you. He's done well last year. He played well overall. I think he would tell you he could do better. I would guess, but him being the starting quarterback for the first time, running out of that tunnel in game one, knowing that, hey, you're the guy, Barron, like this is what you dreamed about your entire life. I think that'll be really fun to see how he responds to that. And I think he's just going to come out and absolutely crush it with 350 yards and 5 touchdowns. And, the start of the Heisman campaign starts here, week 1.
The Heisman campaign for Barron starts against Abilene Christian. I love it. Okay.
Hey, you heard it here first.
Right.
No, Brennan, you taking the over on that? Or the under?
I'm going to take the under pretty much based off what you said. I think that the game will be over by the third quarter, hopefully. And Barron will sling some around, but I think they'll utilize Taj. They'll get Valdez involved. I think they'll want to establish some run game as well, too. And I hope we don't get to the point, unless he's just like 15 of 19 for 310 yards, by halftime. I just don't think we'll get to the point where he needed to throw for over 300 yards, and that it was a pretty seamless, just drive the ball, good runs, and he's hovering around the 250, 275 number. And then he's not even playing in the second half. I'd love to see that. That'd be so under solely based off team performance is what I'm going to say. Okay, next one I've got Taj Brooks over or under 100 yards.
I'm going to go under on this. I think with the wear and tear that he obviously is coming in with in his career and last year, carrying the ball like 26 times a game, I think they'll try to keep him fresh in games that the outcome is decided early, kind of like we've been talking about, which hopefully this is the case for this game. So I think you'll see a lot more Valdez and even some Cam Dickey. So I think Taj has a good game, but I don't think he gets enough carries to get 100 yards.
Yeah, I hope the maximum amount of carries Taj gets is 12. I hope he gets 12 carries and 2 catches, not because you don't trust him, not because he's not a great running back, not because he's not best running back in the Big 12 along with Ollie Gordon. I just don't want to see him take unnecessary hits. And maybe we're overreacting a little bit because he did show last year that he can withstand a pounding that he got pretty much every week because you couldn't really do much outside of run the football. I mean, you were really effective at that, and you found that out as the season went on. But I just hope he doesn't get enough touches to get to 100 yards. Now, Joey has said multiple times that he wants him to get the all-time rushing record at Tech. And so I think he would honestly maybe utilize this game to help him get there because, I mean, if you run Taj 26 times against this defense, I think he probably gets 175 plus yards. But I hope that we don't do that just because of the wear and tear. So, Brennan, you taking the over or the under?
Man, Taj Brooks' first play of the game from the 20-yard line he's gonna show his second gear speed he developed in the offseason. He's gonna break through the line and just torch the Abilene Christian secondary for 80 yards. So I'm going to go like 5 carries, 147 yards for Taj, and then give it a no. I'm just kidding. I'm going to go over though. I think that Taj will get a decent amount of work. I'm not saying it's going to be 20 plus carries, but I think you'll see him carry the ball 12 to 15 times and average 7 to 10 yards a rush. I think that's something that is feasible. I like, and I would personally like to see them get into the flow of the game with Taj, just kind of allow the offense in the passing game to open up through him. And so I want to take the over here. Yeah. So, okay, a couple more. Micah Hudson, the new golden boy at Texas Tech, our prize 5-star recruit, over or under 5 catches?
This one's tough. This is definitely the toughest one for me to decide. I think I'm going to go with the over being like 5 or 6 catches, but hopefully being a freshman, like being so highly touted, I hope that we try to make a concerted effort to get him the ball early in the game, like some screen passes, just some easy catches. And so hopefully that amounts to at least 5.
Yeah. Similar to Brennan's hopeful take on Taj. I hope the I hope the first play of the game is an 80-yard touchdown pass from Baron Morton to Micah Hudson over the middle, and he walks in the end zone and does the Heisman. I think that'd be a great way to start a career. So I would take the over. I just think you're not gonna force him the ball, but you're gonna make a concerted effort to get him catches as the game goes on, just because you want to get him into the game and help him develop. And the way to help a guy, even though he is who he is and he's a 5-star recruit and he's just got unbelievable talent, he still has to do it on the field. He's still got to take it from the practice field, from the high school stadium to Jones AT&T Stadium in the Big 12. So I think you're going to try and get him a lot of catches, which I think will be good for him and for your team as the season goes on. So I'll take the over on this one.
How many Heismans do you have Texas Tech having this year? You've got Baron Morton's Heisman campaign. You've got Micah Hudson doing the pose in the end zone. Anyone else you want to put into consideration for the Heisman trophy this year?
No, I'm good. I mean,
okay,
maybe Jake Strong. I don't know. So
yeah, Jake's gonna come in again. Yeah. I
think we realize I'm obviously tongue in cheek there. I do believe in Baron and Micah, but I mean, I don't think either one of them is actually going to win that, as our listeners know. But hey, if they do, we'll see what happens. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take the over here. I think they'll get him involved, more so just the fact that they'll probably try to get him the ball quickly. Like, I'm not even thinking downfield routes as much as some screen plays, some jet touch passes, which I run regularly with him in NCAA 25, and it's a pretty nice play. So I think they'll get him kind of involved that way, more so just getting him the ball easily and letting him work and showcasing his talents. I'll take the over. Okay, last one. And this one, if it's under, I'm going to be severely disappointed. But Tech total points 40 over or under.
I got to go over on this one. I think
you have to.
You have to. Like you said, I mean, if it's like 38-0, then like that's a solid performance. 38-3, but like I feel like we should be able to put up 40 on this team. So I'll go over.
Yeah, I'll go over. Honestly, if you don't score over 40 points on this team, I'll have some questions. I'll just want to know what happened. So I'll take the over. I just think you have too much talent and too much speed at the receiver position and too much power at running back.
Yeah, we're gonna go over, and if we score less than like 30 points, then I think we're gonna have a really big discussion come Monday, I would say. So and I'll just leave it at that. What'd you say? Or no, Clayton,
I was gonna say, if we score less than 30, I'm gonna be sweating that Washington State game.
Oh
so bad.
Man, yeah. So, well, boys, that's great. Well, good luck to the Red Raiders this week. We cannot wait to watch the game, but we're going to transition into something that we're excited about here on the Broadway Shuffle, a Texas Tech Sports Podcast. We're having our first guest of the season join the show. This man is a Lubbock real estate mogul. He's got quite the YouTube channel. I know him pretty well, actually. I'm fortunate enough to have had a back seat to his life here. And he's going to be joining us any second. And he's going to be giving us not only some great real estate advice for the city of Lubbock, but also his predictions for the season. And let me tell you, this guy knows ball. There's one thing I know about this man. It's that he knows football. And he should be joining us any second. And there he is. Quite the segue. Okay.
Let's go.
So Joey McGuire has joined the podcast.
Yeah.
So look at
it told me to flip it sideways, but now you guys are all sideways.
Yeah,
you're sideways.
No, you should flip it.
You're sideways on our end. So there he is. All right. So this is not in case you're
thinking.
Yeah.
Hello, nobody who's listening.
In case you are not watching this, Joey McGuire is not actually on the podcast. We've got Andrew Baxter with us tonight.
Woo! Sound effects. Woo!
Yeah, the king of Lubbock real estate, which is fitting. He's wearing a crown. So, Andrew, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm refreshed. I'm gassed up. feeling dainty, frisk. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk tech sports, baby. I know all about it.
Do you feel honored to be our first ever guest on the Broadway Shuffle podcast?
I don't know whether to feel honored or dishonored. Truly, to be the first guest on a podcast with no listeners.
Hey man, I've got to say, I'm pretty sure our dad listened to this episode. Well, at least we'll be listening to this episode, so you can count on one.
Fall asleep 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and then wake up when he hears your voice.
Oh.
Yeah. So Andrew, how does it feel being the most famous realtor in Lubbock? Do you wear that with a sense of pride, or what does it feel like?
You know, I wake up every day and do the same thing, man. And stare at myself in the mirror naked. Nothing changes. It's always that. I wake up and I don't even say anything. I don't even look at my phone. My alarm's going off, and I'm just looking at myself dead in the mirror. For 30 plus minutes. So it doesn't. Yeah, go ahead.
You're like a politician. You don't actually answer the question that was asked to you.
The thing is I don't have to. I'm telling you guys my morning routine, which it just keeps me going throughout the day. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how famous I am or I am not. I am locked in for the rest of the day. It's all that matters.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Conrad, can you pull up, as Conrad's choking, can you pull up Andrew's YouTube channel while we've got him on? Okay, Andrew, that's great.
Andrew has a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to ask you a couple questions, Andrew, but first we're going to pull up your YouTube. Look at this page, Living in Lubbock. Andrew, so what, and if you could answer this seriously for 20 seconds. Yes. What led you to create a YouTube channel? And do you get a lot of people coming into your channel asking about Lubbock from this?
Yes, so that's actually a good question. And I created a channel because I used to I'm a marketer. That's all every real estate agent does. They don't do anything else but market. Okay. Their jobs aren't hard. It's super easy. But if you don't get business, if you don't get people to agree to work with you, you won't do any business. So that's sales, right? So I used to make these dumb Instagram videos that were actually creative and kind of fun. And then I realized there was no money to be made on Instagram. So I started making some YouTube videos, and that provided value, but were still entertaining and fun. And over the last 3 years, I've probably helped 50 plus families or investors buy or move to Lubbock. And maybe more than that, honestly, probably 50 to 60, I'd say. And it's just awesome. It's a good source of business. I get people that move to Lubbock from all over the country because they are tired of living where they're at because of whatever reason. I'm sure we can all assume what reasons they would be. They're not Republican states. We'll just say that. And they love Lubbock, Texas, because it is what it is and it's conservative. So I play into that, and it works, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm also conservative myself. So
do you practice these thumbnail pictures? How many times do you have to take these pictures?
That's a really good question. So you notice I have different shirts on every single time. It was the same shirt. They're all just dyed differently. I literally did that. I did that in 5 minutes. You just stand in front of a wall and you do all those little faces I'm doing right there. You just rinse and repeat, man.
I love it.
Modeling will work out for you if real estate doesn't.
It already is, man. I didn't say what else I do in the morning for 30 minutes. It rhymes with bowling cans. I have an account. There's a link on the YouTube channel. It's my account.
Wow. Okay. Well, good to know.
If you're wondering what his YouTube channel is, it's Living in Lubbock, Texas. Andrew Baxter at Lubbock Living.
Okay. Well, so if you just signed Andy, if you just signed the largest deal in NIL history at Texas Tech, where would you buy your house in Lubbock?
Who did that? Who signed that deal?
No, if you
I did?
if you just
Oh my
signed
God.
the biggest NIL deal in Tech history, where are you buying your house in Lubbock?
Okay, this will be a serious answer just in case I chop this up into shorts and put it on my channel. If I'm buying a house in Lubbock, it's south. It's south, southwest, where Lubbock's really growing, where all the new nice stuff is. I mean, if I started the large signed, I just had a stroke, sorry. The largest NIL deal would be what? What would that be? How much money am I looking at? That's what I need to ask.
3 million. We'll say 3.
If I had 3 million liquid cash, you saying 3 million cash?
3 million cash.
I'm putting 10% of that down. So is that 300 grand on a freaking ranch, bro? South of town. I'm getting cows. I'm going to have a shooting range. I'm going to have a bowling alley. And then I would use that other 2.7 million, take it to Choctaw and put it all on red.
You double your money immediately.
And if I lost, I'm driving off of Marcia Sharp. I'm driving off. If I lose, I'm driving back to Lubbock and off the freeway. Straight off.
Okay, that's but knowing you'll probably win at Choctaw.
Well, here's the problem: I'll win, but then I'll try to double.
Yeah,
I'll try to win again, and that's when I'll lose.
That tends to happen. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so we want to get into a little bit about. We know that your knowledge runs deep for Texas Tech sports, but
Really deeper than most things. Deeper than any of us have ever done.
Do you have? Do you have a favorite player on the team?
Oh, dude, I really like that one guy. What's his name? Taj Brooks. Dude, I like Taj Brooks. I think he's a cool guy.
Okay.
I think he's a cool guy.
Why do you like Taj Brooks?
Because so I just recently played the game College Football 25, the new EA Sports game. And, you set a favorite team on your home screen every time. So I set mine's Texas Tech because that's where I went. And Taj Brooks is on the cover doing that, stiff arming somebody. And if you play as Texas Tech, Taj Brooks is hands down the coldest player on the team. He's like a 92 overall. Never met him, never seen him in person, actually, ever. I never watched him play. I just like him on a video game.
Okay.
If you met Taj Brooks in person, what would you say?
I'd probably give him a kiss on the cheek.
Good.
I wouldn't say much.
Yeah. Do you have a record prediction for this year?
So I do want to interject here because I listened to y'all's first episode, and I thought that y'all were talking about Conrad drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? Because there is zero shot that Tech wins 9 games, bro. Anyone say there? We are, and we could go back through the list. We are winning maybe 6, maybe. You can mark. I'd say 7 at the absolute most. It's going to be a 7-6 game season. Everyone does this every year, where they're all like, oh, this is our year. Tech's going to be good this year. That's why you two have been. You're like me and Clayton have been doing this since we've been friends. It's like, well, have we ever been good? Nope. Guarantee. Every year you're like, I think we could really go 8-4 this year, 8-3, whatever it is. How many games we play? 12.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah, dude, it's 7 and 5. You guys, Baylor's going to be a loss. I think we're going to lose an upset game like Arizona or something like that. We're just going to drop the ball. That's Texas Tech sports, bro. It's the Mike Leach curse. It hasn't left. It's still there. We will not be good at football until the rapture, until Mike Leach, we figure out if he's in heaven or hell.
Wow. Yeah.
Mike
Leach is haunting us from his grave
he's
now.
Haunting Texas Tech or whoever that guy who put his son in the closet or whatever.
Adam James and Craig James in 2009. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same. I mean, it's a fiasco, man. It's a problem with sports. Is the hype train?
Yeah.
It makes people dumb. It makes people dumb. That's with sports, video games, everything else.
Andrew, are you just against positivity in the world? I mean, we're trying to have a positive, uplifting podcast as long as we possibly can.
Listen, okay, let me also say this. I'm a realist, okay? That's how I view the world. If tech football is bad, you guys can bank on doing this every year. You're gonna have consistent listeners because the hype, the Kool-Aid, everyone's gonna be thinking, and then maybe we start off losing 2 games or whatever, which probably is not gonna happen, granted. But whether we're good or bad, I think arguably you guys have a more of a platform if tech is bad. Because you can keep saying, well, here's what needs to happen. You can hypothesize about coaching changes. And like the best part of the last episode was when you guys were talking about, well, I wonder who's in the hot seat, who's going to change, like what personnel changes need to happen, all that stuff. That was interesting stuff. I like listening to it, and I don't know much about tech sports because for me, it's good to hear. It's like, how could we be good? And you guys talking about that is a good thing. If we're good, if we're Alabama, it's boring as hell, dude. It's like, who cares about a really good team? No one cares if people win every time. That sucks. That's boring. It's like making your favorite baseball team the New York Yankees.
Except they're not very good. They haven't won
People are listening to this right now going like, gosh dang it, he's so right.
Yeah.
I know it. I 100% know it.
You've got a point. Okay, well, we want to send you out of here with one question and take this as serious or not as you want, but what is your favorite memory in Lubbock ever?
Oh, God. Oof, that's a really, really good question. Oh, I would probably say, I mean, I have an amalgamation of really good memories, but one of my favorite moments where I felt like, because I hated college, so when I felt like an actual productive member of society is when I sold my very first house. That was one of my favorite memories. That was in 2020 during COVID. Felt really good.
That's when the legend was born, right there.
He was
not losing all of your what was it? What was that restaurant?
The PF Chang's.
PF Chang's.
Yeah, I did sell a PF Chang's and I lost all of the money on a stock. The commission check I got like the next day from a hot tip I got a line. It's okay, you live and you learn, man.
You live and you learn.
Look at me now.
Are you still trading stocks online with tips you get online?
Absolutely not. Nope.
All your money is in real estate now, right? All your money's in real estate,
man. It's all in high risk crypto coins. I need a way bigger risk than just stocks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
no,
awesome,
that's probably
man.
my favorite memory. Yeah.
That's a good one. Well, let every listener that you think won't be listening to the episode, where can they find you, and what would you like them to know about you?
They can find me on my YouTube channel, Lubbock Living. I would love it if you guys could support it. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers, which feels really good. I don't ever think that's like an amazing thing or anything because I don't make any money from the YouTube channel directly, so that really doesn't matter to me. But yeah, just go watch the videos, like them, subscribe on them. I'm making a video game YouTube channel as well. We'll see how that goes. So more on that later. If I'm a guest soon, I'll plug that.
Awesome, man. Well, we love you, man. Well, thanks for making us laugh so much. And Wreckham, we'll see you this year.
Keep it going. I love it.
Appreciate it, man.
Baby.
Okay, bye guys.
Welcome.
Wow. Well, that was probably what we should have expected, I guess, out of our first guest this year. I think he's still frozen on our YouTube, but man, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. That was that. I almost have to digest what we just witnessed.
Can we just take a moment, just 10 seconds, and just wait for him to disappear so that we can go back to a normal episode?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, look, I mean, that's the part of having guests on podcasts, right? You just never know what you're going to get. Andrew's he's a character, man. And we were excited to have him on. There's no better guy for our first guest on the podcast than Andrew. Like I said, a living in Lubbock realtor legend, and his YouTube channel and marketing is great. So yeah, Clayton, what was your thought of Andrew's? What was your favorite answer of Andrew, I guess?
Oh man, where do I start? First off, the most outlandish thing he said was that we're losing to Baylor at home.
Yeah, we're not losing to Baylor at home.
Yeah, there's no shot. I mean, could we go 7-5 maybe, but I don't think one of the 5 losses will be Baylor.
Baylor, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say this too, man. I would gladly. I think he's right about if we're bad, that gives us more of a voice. But I would gladly give that away if we're really good. It doesn't bother me. We're not doing this for a platform or a voice. We're just doing it to have fun. And so I would gladly give that away if we're winning 8, 9, 10 games. And so, at the end of the year when we're playing in Arlington and Andrew Baxter's sitting in section 1 on row 1 and seat 1 cheering on the Red Raiders in the Big 12 championship game, he'll think back to this moment and realize how wrong he was. But we'll see if that happens or not.
Yeah, and yeah, man, I still just am processing a lot of what was said on that, but it's just maybe the Red Raiders need to try his morning routine. Maybe they'll be a little more successful. I don't know. Well, Clayton, do you want to transition us as we close out the episode? I know you've got a couple things. I know you're taking place of Zyler tonight for our tech trivia question of the night, so I'm excited to see what you've conjured up there. But we also wanted to go through a quick pick segment straight up of some of the Big 12 games going on this week too. So what's our first game on the docket, Clay? And let's just run through those games and give some quick picks. Then you can close us out with tech trivia.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, we can go one by one. I've got 5 games for us to pick. So we'll start off with the Thursday night game, North Dakota State at Colorado. And for those who don't know, North Dakota State is a perennial powerhouse in FCS. I think they're rated number 2 in the preseason rankings. Colorado is favored by 10. So I guess Conrad, start us off.
I would love to see Colorado lose because I think I think the coverage on Friday would be awesome if that happened. I don't think they're going to lose, though. I think this Colorado team is going to be improved. I'm not sure how good they're going to be, but I don't think they lose to North Dakota State, even though North Dakota State is a great program. So I'll pick Colorado to win and cover in this one. I think they're going to win by double digits.
Yeah, man, I really want to pick North Dakota State here. Deion's been getting a lot of hate this offseason, too. I mean, the reporter drama with them not letting a reporter in because, they're asking Deion some dumb questions, which is dumb in and of itself. And then you've got just the hype around Shador and Travis. But at the same time, if Tech wants to get to a place where they're secure come November, potentially, with wins, and let's say we're hovering around that 8-2, 9-2 record, we'd want to have some quality wins on our schedule. So I'm just going to pick Colorado to win because I want that game in November to mean something for both of us and for us to be playing a solid team. So, give me Colorado, but not excitingly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with y'all. I mean, for the sake of the Big 12, I feel like it would be a pretty big stain on our reputation if Colorado did lose this game. And I don't think they will. I think they win.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, Friday night. TCU plays at Stanford. Stanford now on the ACC. This game, TCU is favored by 9.5. Conrad, who are you going with here?
It hurts to do this, but I've got to be a realist, like Andrew was talking about. I'm going to pick TCU. I think TCU will win that game. I know it's far to travel from Fort Worth to Palo Alto, but I think they travel there and win. I think Josh Hoover is going to be better than most people think. They've got some good offensive weapons and then some good players on defense as well. So I think they're going to win and cover. Again, it feels like there's more of a conference camaraderie and togetherness now than maybe ever before because of what's happened. And so I find myself rooting more for the Big 12 than I what did in the past, just because I want to see us play in a quality conference. And so I do just think that TCU will beat Stanford because Stanford was abysmal last year.
Yeah,
Brendan,
give me TCU. It's a joke that Stanford's in the ACC. I don't want to even think about it. Just it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm going with TCU as well here. TCU is one of the teams I'm most interested in seeing. Like I don't know what to expect from them, but Stanford is pretty bad, so I'm gonna go with TCU. All right, next game. This one's probably the best one of the slate. Penn State at West Virginia. This one's at 11 a.m. Saturday. Penn State's favored by 8. Conrad, who are you taking here?
Yeah, I'll take Penn State. One of the coolest games I've ever been to was in 2013, 12, I think it was. Michigan played at Penn State, and Penn State won in 4 overtimes. It was 107,000 people there. They were all in white. It was in an electric atmosphere, super cool. That's a good program. Drew Allar's a good player. They've got 2 stud running backs as well. I don't know that West Virginia is really going to be able to stop them from running the ball if Penn State really just puts their heads down and runs the football up the middle and runs around the ends as well. So I think Penn State will win. I think they will cover as well. But again, playing in Morgantown, it's not an easy place to play. We know quarterbacks get hurt there. See last year, Texas Tech versus West Virginia. And so I think that could be an upset, but I'll still pick Penn State to win that game.
Yeah, I'm going to go West Virginia here just because I'm high on them. I love Green at quarterback. I unlike some people on this podcast, I like Neil Brown. I think it just took him a while to get going. And 11 a.m. in Morgantown, that's not a good draw for Penn State. I almost rather it have been a night game, but to wake up early for them and to go on the road, that's going to be tough. So give me West Virginia here, that game at home. I like that kind of setting a tone early for them.
Yeah, I'm actually going with Brennan here. I think I saw that the ticket prices for this game minimum were like $300, so it's going to be crazy crowd. I think West Virginia has the better quarterback. I don't know if they have the better coach, but I'm going to go with West Virginia on this one. All right, next one. I'm very interested in this game. It's South Dakota State plays at Oklahoma State, 1 p.m. Saturday. South Dakota State, very similar to North Dakota State, is like an FCS powerhouse. I think they won the national title last 2 years, and they're preseason number 1. So Conrad, which way you leaning here?
This is a hard one because of everything you just said. I do think Oklahoma State does find a way to pull it out. I do think it's closer than a lot of people think, but I just think that there's too much of a talent discrepancy for them to lose this game. So I'll go Oklahoma State, but I think it will be close given what we know about the other opponent.
This would be hilarious to see Oklahoma State lose this game, and just because of that, I'm going to pick South Dakota State.
Dude, I want to pick South Dakota State so bad. My roommate's a Oklahoma State grad, as y'all know, and I have a bet with him for $50 that Tech will win more regular season games than them. But I do unfortunately think they win, although I think it's a close game. I think it's a 1-score game. But I'm going to go with Oklahoma State.
And that's a great bet, Clay. You should honestly quadruple that. You should be writing a grand, $5,000, $10,000 on that bet because you can lock it in, man. We're going to have I think the confidence is high there. So, yeah, Aaron can just weep with just having to sit there and cry the whole year whenever he's out a grand. Yeah.
You need to tell him to listen to this episode to find out what the bet has been up to.
I will. Yeah.
Don't tell him actually until the end of the year, And so like you actually owe me $1,000. We signed it in on the Broadway Shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah. You just weren't there.
Yeah.
All right. And then last game, Wyoming plays at Arizona State Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. Obviously, we're familiar with season openers against Wyoming. Arizona State is favored by 6. Conrad, what's your pick on this one?
Yeah, I think Wyoming does it back-to-back years. I think they'll get, even though they're on the road this time, I think they'll get Arizona State. Not sure what the excitement level is like around that Arizona State program based on their roster and some different things that we discussed on our season preview episode regarding our game against Arizona State. But I think Wyoming, they're just a tough program. They play everyone really tough. They played a couple other really tough games last year. I can't remember who they were against. But Wyoming proved to be a good team and a good program. And so I think they'll go down there into Tempe and really shock some people.
Yeah, the game not being in Laramie it makes me more hesitant to pick Wyoming. We have no clue what Arizona State's going to be, and if they do lose this game, you're looking at them if they're projected how they're going to finish the Big 12. Like, what games do they win? I mean, are they going 2-10? Like this would be a really sour start to their season. So I'm going to pick ASU. I'm not confident in it. I think Wyoming, I don't know who they returned from last year's roster, but that was a good football team. I mean, they hung with Texas last year. They beat us at home. Like, that team is not a joke. I know their coach retired though too. So just with some of the transition stuff, I'm gonna pick Arizona State, but would fully expect the Cowboys to be hanging tough in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm with Brennan on this one. I think if it was in Laramie, I would pick Wyoming, but going from Wyoming to Tempe, it's going to be incredibly hot. I don't think they pull it out. So I'll go with Arizona State.
Man, is Utah not playing this week?
They play Southern Utah on Thursday night.
Give me Southern Utah.
That would be insane.
Okay, well, we just got through some of the good games then. So, yeah. Awesome, man. Well, good. Hey, great job, Clayton. That was your first segment you ran, I think. You did so good. We're going to give you one more. So,
thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Give us the tech trivia question to close us out. And
yeah. All right. Sorry. Yes. So last year, our leading receiver was Xavier White with 556 yards. What was the last time that our leading receiver had less than 600 yards?
Oh. Wow.
This one's tough.
Was it this millennia? Like that has to be pre-2000, right?
It was, yes.
Okay. Then I have no clue who it was.
I'm going to say 1974.
More recent than that.
Okay.
Maybe 1995.
It was 1999.
Oh, wow.
Sammy Morris led us in receiving with 386 yards, and he was the running back.
Wow. Sammy Morris, good
it's
for
the old
you.
saying, it can always be worse, right? It can always be worse than last year.
That's that Spike Dykes offense.
Wow. Sammy Morris, man, good for you. Leading out of the backfield, too. I know he's he's an avid listener of the podcast, too, so shout out to
have him
you,
on
Sammy.
And ask him what his experience in 1999 was like.
Yeah, we'll need to. Well, man, guys, that was a ton of fun. Too much fun, probably. But it's so good to see y'all, and we're excited. Game day is just around the corner. We'll be back on Monday to kind of walk through upon further review. We'll be coming every Monday throughout the course of football season, giving you our thoughts and opinions on what took place game day. We've got most of us will be at every game this year, so you'll get sights and sounds from the Jones, and then even some road games from us. So be looking out for just honestly some fairly hot take opinions. We're not here to be analytical. We're here to dive into the heart of Red Raider Nation, what we're feeling come Monday. So look forward to that when we talk to y'all next time. But you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel at the Broadway Shuffle, a Texas Tech Sports Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify, Apple. And then, follow us on our social medias at the Broadway Shuffle Pod, or on X at the Broadway Shuff, which I love that name, the Broadway Shuff. Just kind of cut it off there. So for Conrad and Clayton, I'm Brennan. You'll see Zyler next Monday. And boys, enjoy the weekend, and Wreck 'em Tech, man.
Wreck 'em.